Year 6, welcome to Wednesday's English lesson. So, yesterday with our English, we looked at developing a sort of storyboard, a comic strip idea that retold 4 key events from the chase scene in Ruin. And today we're going to build on that work, and we're looking at using writing techniques to create tension and suspense. We want to really excite and engage our audience. Below, you'll see here is an example of some writing that uses techniques to build tension and suspense, and you can use that to develop some ideas today. You're not actually going to be writing in a paragraph format today, but it's just gives you some ideas of what sort of things we'd look for. As it says on your sheet, make sure you're watching the introductory video, which you're already doing, and we're going to talk about some of the key things that will help with creating that tension and suspense. So I'm going to look at the example here, and I will talk about what the author does well that creates that suspense and how you can use that. They're here. Now, this is going to link into our dad waivers, and I'll go on to dad waivers shortly. That's where your task is. But they're here. That's all it says. They're here. How does he say it? I whisper under my breath. So let's go back and start that again. How should I have said it? They're here. Why does that create tension and suspense? Well, as a reader, we don't know what they are. Okay, so in our heads, we're second guessing, we're trying to work out what it is. And also, it's that I whisper under my breath. It builds that tension, that feel of why is he whispering to himself? How nervous does he feel? He can't speak out loud. Chop, chop, chop. Again, that sound, onomatopoeia, just the sound on its own, one after the other, repeated. It's building that tension. What's making the chopping noise? What's coming? The unmistakable sound of propellers slicing through the air. Again, slicing, very carefully picked. What do we think of when we think of the word slicing? Think of knives, things that are sharp, things that are dangerous, swords. Okay, so slicing through the air. Terrifying. One word on its own in a sentence, really building that tension. Every time there's a piece of punctuation as a reader, I'm pausing. And those pauses are creating that tension and suspense. How did they find me? Again, they. At no point, other than the mention of propellers, has there been any inclination as to what it is that's chasing us. There's a mention of propellers, so something with a propeller, but we don't know what it is. So in our minds as a reader, we're still really second guessing. We're going over it again and again. My pupils dilate. My palms begin to sweat. Short, punchy clauses, and they're describing that building of tension within a character, so as a reader we start to feel it. Every muscle in my body is twisted and contorted. We're feeling that stress, that tension build in our character and in us as readers. I have to fight to move. Can you see as well, there's very, very little use of conjunctions. I know we've had a coordinating conjunction and there, but very simple, very short sentences. Fight or flight. This was not the time. Will I be able to reach it in time? Without a moment's hesitation, I flee. Again, short, simple clauses. It's one of the first times we've had any subordination in this paragraph. But the rest of it, very short, very simple. Running, so we've got a verb opening. Running as quickly as my leg can carry me. I try to get away. Coward. And you see, just like we had terrifying before, one word sentence, one word sentence. Above me, the monster appears. A demon from hell. The monster. What does this monster look like? We don't know. Okay, so by allowing, we talked the other day about making sure our audience can picture what we're picturing. Here, by not letting them picture what we can actually see, by not giving away the details, they're second guessing. Their mind is racing. That excites them. That engages them more and more. Enormous wings block out the sun, and an ear-piercing siren sounds to tell the others. Hurriedly, I dive onto my bike. So all that build of tension, very simple sentences a lot of the time. We have got some subordination here without a moment's hesitation, running as quickly as my legs can carry me. And also above me, the monster appears, a demon from hell. So we have got some elements of subordination, fronted adverbials and things like that in there. Okay, the first time we get real description, enormous wings block out the sun and an ear-piercing siren sounds to tell the others. There's not huge amounts of description throughout that. Very simple. but lots of short, broken up sentences, and that description of how our character's feeling. It doesn't say, I am nervous, I am scared. It says, my pupils dilate. So the author's going through things that your body naturally does when you are scared. And we can see the dad wavers in there. They're here, so we've got a dialogue opening. A verb on its own. Again, we had another verb opening, running. Hurriedly, adverbial opening. And we've got some fronted adverbials as well. We've got lots of rhetorical questions. So those dad wavers are coming thick and fast through this. I'm going to read it once more, but I'm not going to pause and talk about it. I want you to really experience the feeling. They're here, I whisper under my breath. Chop, chop, chop. The unmistakable sound of propellers slicing through the air, terrifying. How did they find me? My pupils dilate. My palms begin to sweat. Every muscle in my body is twisted and contorted. I have to fight to move. Fight or flight. This was not the time. Will I be able to reach it in time? Without a moment's hesitation, I flee, running as quickly as my legs can carry me. I try to get away. Coward. Above me, the monster appears, a demon from hell. Enormous wings block out the sun, and an ear-piercing siren sounds to tell the others. Hurriedly, I dive onto my bike. Now, I still know where we are in the story, because I know what's happening. I've seen the film. And this is a good example that you could magpie for scene 1. So you'll see here, for scene 1, we have a dad wavers table. We have another one for scene 2, another for scene 3, and another for scene 4. And they match to the 4 scenes you picked out in your storyboard yesterday. So dad wavers. Here we go with dad wavers. First one, description. Remember, we're using adjectives, maybe a 2A sentence. Second one, action. Thud, something has to happen. The next one, dialogue. Some speech. It can be short and simple, just like we had they're here in the other one. Where things are, so something given detail of where things are in the scene. Adverb or adverbial. Okay, adverbial phrase, should I say. So cautiously we had here, and the other one we had hurriedly. Verb, walking here, running in the other one. Estimation of time, so without hesitation we had in the other one. Here, as minutes passed. Rhetorical questions, there were lots of examples in the waggle. And then a simile or metaphor. So you want a sentence like that for each one of those for each of your scenes. Now, there's plenty of time to do that in this lesson. You don't necessarily have to rewatch the video. You can do if you want, but you don't necessarily have to. Use those sentence structures to help you plan for your finished piece. But use the waggle as well. Look at what the author of that has done really, really well. And think about how you're going to magpie from there. Good luck. I look forward to seeing some fantastic pieces of writing.